Mom deliberately makes her daughter a spoof bento every day, hoping to make her lose face in front of her classmates. It's because her daughter has reached puberty, always wears a grumpy face at home, and never communicates with her. That day, the girl opened her lunchbox, and the cute bento drew a crowd of classmates. Her cool girl image collapsed instantly. This made her feel humiliated. So she ran home in a rage, questioning her mother why she did this. Her mother didn't care about her anger, and was even a little happy because this was the first time her daughter had taken the initiative to talk to her in 3 years. So she started preparing different bentos for her daughter every day. When she got drunk at night, she made a sashimi chazik bento. When she worked at the carpentry shop, she made a woodworking glue bento. And when she had a dream at night, she drew Sadako's pattern on the rice. Because the bento was so unique, classmates would gather around to look at the girl's bento at noon. Her friends advised her to refuse to eat the bento as a protest. But the girl didn't agree. In her eyes, not eating the bento would mean admitting defeat. She decided to hold out against her mother until the other party had no new ideas. After making different bentos for 3 consecutive months, her mother finally ran out of inspiration. That morning, her mother still got up early, but by dawn, she couldn't think of what to make. When her daughter was about to go out, she could only hurriedly stuff 2 rice balls into the lunchbox. The daughter, who witnessed the scene, also showed a triumphant smile in front of her. While her mother was worrying about the lack of inspiration, her eldest daughter happened to come home to visit her. So she told her eldest daughter about this, and her eldest daughter gave her a small trick: write messages on the bento. It turned out that her daughter never washed dishes after meals at home. Now, her classmates and teachers all knew about her bad habit. That night, after her youngest daughter finished eating, she washed the dishes for the first time as an exception. Although the message bento had a slight effect, her attitude was still very bad, and she still never took the initiative to talk to her mother. Her mother couldn't figure out the reason until she accidentally picked up her daughter's diary. Only then did she understand the reason for everything. Since her husband died in a car accident, her mother had to do several jobs every day to support the family. Her youngest daughter had always been taken care of by her elder sister, and she really didn't seem to care much. So in the days that followed, she kept making various bentos for her daughter, trying to close the distance with her daughter. Until her daughter was about to graduate, she wanted to express her feelings to someone she liked. So she took the initiative to ask her mother to teach her how to make a bento. Her mother knew that her daughter wanted to confess, so she agreed without hesitation. When making the bento, her mother told her, as long as you make it with love, the food will never taste bad. With her mother's help, Futaba successfully made her first bento. The next day was the annual temple fair on the island. She took the bento she made by hand, excitedly looking for the boy in the temple fair. But when she found the boy, she found that someone had already confessed to him first. Then the girl even kissed him. This relationship ended before it started. The frustrated Futaba was hit a second time. The teacher said she was rejected by the university she applied for. The successive blows made Futaba very frustrated. In her 18-year-old cognition, a little setback seemed to mean the end of the world. She worked hard for someone she liked, but got a result full of disappointment. She wanted to see the outside world, but was rejected before she even set out. This also made her feel that life was ruthless, and any effort was just in vain. That night, her mother made a message bento with words encouraging Futaba written on it. Seeing the message, efforts will never be in vain on the rice, Futaba, as if her sore spot had been hit, suddenly lost control of her emotions. She threw the bento on the ground forcefully, then cried and ran back to her room. Her mother wanted to talk to her, but she shouted and wouldn't let her mother enter the room. Finally, between the 2 women, the bedroom door was forcibly broken off. The girl shouted that any effort was just in vain. Her mother hit the girl for the first time. After this quarrel, Futaba left home in a huff. That night, she went to her elder sister's house. Her elder sister made her an omiris. Her elder sister said to her, "Generally, only very poor people often eat this kind of food. When money is tight at the end of each month, frying rice with the remaining ingredients is the cheapest way." At this moment, Futaba remembered she and her elder sister used to eat the omiris made by their mother. She suddenly realized life must have been very hard for her mother in those years. The next morning, Futaba returned home timidly, having prepared to be scolded, but her mother didn't blame her too much. She just said that the door panel had been burned by her, and she wouldn't reinstall the door until Futaba apologized. Seemingly touched by her mother's optimism and strength, Futaba finally bowed her head and said sorry to her mother. Her mother accepted her apology and told her that she had made a bento for her at noon. When Futaba opened the bento, the words, "Efforts will never be in vain," were still written on the rice. thinking that her mother had made a new bento without holding a grudge. Futaba was both moved and guilty. She thanked her mother for her tenderness and care, and the distance from her mother in her heart gradually drew closer. After that, Futaba no longer resisted communicating with her mother, and would also take the initiative to tell her mother about her future plans. She began to prepare for job hunting, planning to find a job to support herself first. She still wanted to go to Tokyo to have a try, this time not for others, but for herself. When she set off for a job interview in Tokyo, her elder sister and mother both came to the pier to cheer her on. Her mother put an onion in her bento, telling her to put the onion on her navel before the interview, so that she wouldn't be nervous then. Futaba thought this method was childish, and said she would never do that. But when she attended the job interview, for the first time in society, Futaba was inevitably nervous. At this moment, she thought of the onion her mother gave her. So she picked up the onion and put it on her navel. Perhaps the onion really worked. Futaba's performance in the interview was almost impeccable. She applied for a catering company and finally passed the interview. She wanted to share the good news with her mother, only to find that her mother had a sudden stroke due to long-term overwork. The girl wanted to stay and take care of her mother, but her mother insisted that she pursue her own dream. Before the graduation ceremony, her mother struggled to make her daughter one last bento. Because her hands were weak due to the stroke, she held the knife with both hands to chop vegetables. When her fingers ached from writing messages, she switched between her left and right hands. After staying up all night, the last bento in 3 years was finally completed. In the morning, when her daughter went to school for the graduation ceremony, her elder sister handed over this graduation gift to her. She carried the huge bento to school, complaining all the way that the bento was really heavy. After attending the graduation ceremony, many classmates ran to her classroom to watch. She opened the bento box awkwardly. The first layer was a side dish with both meat and vegetables, and the classmates all let out exclamations of admiration. But when she opened the second layer, everyone fell silent, because inside was a commendation. Letter made of ingredients. To my dear daughter, I have made bentos that you dislike for 3 years, and you have endured eating them for 3 years. This endurance is worthy of praise. Hereby commend your endurance. The girl couldn't help but shed tears. Only then did she understand how heavy her mother's love for her was, and she felt extremely regretful at this moment. On the day she was about to leave her mother, she also made a bento for her mother, which was her response to her mother's love.